Months passed, nay, years and seasons passed. It was no longer the springtime of the Marquis of Mandrake's life. It was not even the summer. It was the autumn.
I say, that's awfully good.
Do you think so? I must say I do.
It says in such a few words exactly what one wants to know.
Yes, that's what I hoped, of course.
I don't know how you do it, Ward. I really don't.
Shall I continue?
Please do.
It was the autumn, the season of the harvest. Yet for the Marquis of Mandrake, the fruits to be gathered were neither the smiling gifts of bounteous nature, nor the rewards of a man who looks back upon a life well lived. The fruits that fell upon that rain-lashed night in the year of our Lord 1744 were the fruits of evil and disgrace, yea, the very rotten fruits of a mad, bad, reckless, and unbridled life. Mandrake may only have been 34, but he looked 70. Such was the picture that vice and dissipation had painted on his once godlike face. That face sneered back at him from the rain-splashed windows as his coach swayed onward through the night to a rendezvous with danger and revenge.
Good Lord.
Yes, I think it's pretty original.
Original? I'll say it is. Shall we have a fresh lemonade? Good for the throat, I mean, with all that reading aloud you're doing.
Thanks awfully. Good idea.
I'll go and ask the maid to make some. What on earth? You little beast!
I didn't know he was going to open the door.
Did you say he was listening at the keyhole?
I couldn't hear a word.
Come here, you little... I'm frightfully sorry about this, Ward.
Oh, don't worry. I ignore him. I always ignore younger brothers.
It won't happen again. I'll see to that. I should have thought that instead of listening at people's keyholes, you could have spent your time having a wash.
Not my fault, I'm curious.
Look at yourself. Look at your hair. Look at your collar. Look at your knees.
It's your fault, not mine, I'm curious. You invite your friend Ward Hadlow here to stay, and what do? You spend all your time in his room. And what's he doing? He's either talking or he's reading aloud. Now, you'd be curious if that was going on.
I don't think many men have brothers who go around looking as awful as you do. I don't know what Ward thinks of you.
Well, why don't you ask him?
We've more important things to talk about than you.
All right, you tell me what you talk about, and I'll tell you if it's more important than me.
As Ward says, as Ward so rightly says, young brothers do not exist.
Of course I exist.
Oh, there are occasions when you can't be ignored, but most of the time you can be, and you are. Now, why don't you go and roll in the mud outside your vile old barn, or whatever it is you do that you call playing? Little beast.
It's pathetic. It's like I know what they're doing. They try to make everything a mystery, but they can't make it a proper mystery. And what's the good of that? How can a mystery be a mystery when I know what it is? I mean, when we make a mystery, Scotland Yard couldn't find out what it was. So, what is it? What's what? What's the mystery about Robert and Ward? Well, they're cramming up for an exam. How do you know? Well, Ward's so high and mighty, it's always hard to hear what he says. Through a big, thick door like that, it's impossible. But I did hear him say, in the year of our Lord, 1744.
1744?
Yeah.
Well, what happened then?
History, that's what happened then. History. Yeah, you see, they're cramming up history for an exam, and they don't want me to find out, and I know why.
Why?
Well, because they always like to pretend that they know everything there is to know without having to learn it. That's why.
What about our hare and hound race tomorrow? We need a lot of paper for the hare to scatter.
That's exactly what I mean. I expect I'll be able to get a lot of paper. See, Ward and Robert are cramming up for this exam. Ward's going away tomorrow, so I bet I'll be able to find lots of bits of paper that they've been practising dates and such like on. Anyway, have a jolly good look.
It's been awfully decent having you here, Ward. I'm only sorry you couldn't stay longer. You've no idea how difficult it is to find one's intellectual match out here. The conversation is almost exclusively devoted to tennis parties and village fetes and flower shows. It's absolutely stultifying.
So we don't despair. There is a faint chance I may be able to get back here for a few days after I've been to the Mortimer's place.
Oh, Ward, do you think you could? That would be absolutely marvellous. There's some frightfully interesting places around here that we could visit together, you know. Literary places. Several places where writers were born and where they lived. You'd be absolutely fascinated.
Well, we'll have to see what we can do, won't we? I may not be able to let you know for a day or two.
Oh, Ward, please, don't even bother to write. Just arrive. You're more than welcome here at any time. You must know that.
Fine. Well, as I say, Mrs. Brown, thanks again most awfully for your hospitality.
It's a pleasure, Ward.
All mine, I assure you.
Now, William, say goodbye and bon voyage to Mr. Hadlow.
As I say, Mrs. Brown, thanks again most awfully.
Thank you, Ward. Don't be silly, William. Now, what are your plans for today?
Oh, I just got someone to speak to upstairs.
Crumbs. In the year of our Lord, 1744. Crumbs! I knew it! They're old history papers, given back and corrected. They've been going over the corrections. Crumbs!
Yeah, I bet that'll do for the paper chase, all right.
What is it?
Same as I told you. It's old exam papers of Robert's.
Crumbs.
Yeah, they keep their old exam papers. They're interested in foreign languages and such like. You know, they waste whole days looking up words in dictionaries. Catch me doing that when I'm their age. Catch me wasting time on lessons when there's no one there to make me do them, and I could be out climbing trees or playing Red Indians.
I'll start this afternoon and tear it all up into little bits. Crumbs, what a paper chase.
Anyway, it's lunchtime now, so I'm going home. You coming? Come on.
Honestly, well, I mean, you've seen him for yourselves, so you know what I'm talking about. But honestly, Ward Hadlow is simply a frightfully brilliant chap. He's even more brilliant than he looks. He made me promise not to tell you till after he'd gone because he is so frightfully modest as well as frightfully brilliant. But he's written a novel.
Oh, yes, this meat is rather tough, isn't it? I'll speak to the butcher again.
What's this novel about?
It's an historical novel. It's been a frightful swat for him getting up the historical part, of course, but he is so frightfully brilliant. And it's a perfectly marvellous story. I mean, I'm sure when they know about it, all the publishers will be simply fighting for it.
Oh, will they? I would like to watch them. When will they have it?
Have what?
The fight.
Oh, don't be so cretinous.
Robert.
Ward's been reading it aloud to me up in his bedroom while he's been here. Well, he didn't want the rest of you to know about it because he is so frightfully modest. And really, well, I'm perfectly unbiased in my opinion. It is most frightfully brilliant.
It's not so much the meat is tough, my dear, as that there is hardly any meat to speak of. It's mostly gristle.
Absolutely frightfully brilliant.
He'd better not come again.
Oh, no, you mustn't feel frightened of him like that. Though, I must say I did when I first heard about his novel. He's frightfully brilliant, but he's frightfully modest, too. I mean, he doesn't in the least mind meeting ordinary people.
No, I mean the butcher, dear. And tell him not to come for any more orders after this. As your father says, it's practically all gristle. We'll try the new one in Hadley. He delivers every day.
I think this novel is going to revolutionise the art of novel writing in England. Well, I'm a man of fairly wide experience, and I've never come across anything like it.
I don't think much of the potatoes either.
Oh, no, dear, isn't it disappointing? The gardener says it's the dry summer. He's watered them, but it's not the same.
Is there a murder in it?
It's not that type of story at all. There are several duels in it, though, and the villain kidnaps the heroine and keeps her imprisoned in a ruined castle. It's frightfully original in every way, as well as frightfully brilliant.
No, I think you ought to have some murders in it. Duels just aren't the same. Couldn't you have some murders as well as some duels?
Have you ever heard of such a thing as artistic restraint?
No, but if I was him, I shouldn't start having artists in it. They're soppy and they spoil any decent tale.
Oh, thank you. May I open it, Mother?
Yes, dear.
I say it's from Ward.
Oh.
Have left manuscript of novel in top drawer of desk. Please send registered post. Oh, I say. Well, I'd better go and get it at once. I mean, something like this is really valuable. I'll send it off first thing after lunch.
Come on, William. Pass the plates. William. Have you still no plans for today, dear?
We're having a paper chase.
A what, dear?
A paper chase.
How nice.
It's gone!
What's gone, dear?
Ward's novel.
It can't have gone, dear. No one's been in his room since he went. They're going to start cleaning it out this afternoon.
But it has
Thank
gone,
you.
I tell you, it has gone.
I expect mice have eaten it. Mice do eat paper.
Not 300 pages in 2 hours.
I don't see why they shouldn't if they was hungry. I bet if I was
Shut
a
up.
mouse...
Robert.
I once read a tale in which a valuable ring was lost. And at the end, they found it in a magpie's nest.
A magpie couldn't possibly carry off 300 pages of manuscript to its nest.
I don't see why I couldn't. I bet I could
Shut
have...
up.
Please.
Well, there are sort of other things besides magpies and mice. I expect some of those publishers what were after it got on the roof and took it through the window.
Stop talking such imbecile nonsense.
It isn't imbecile nonsense. You said they were all after it and get out a fight about it. So why shouldn't one of them
Will
just sneak up.
you shut up?
Robert, dear, I expect he's put it in some other drawer and forgotten. I think you'd better go and have a thorough look through all the drawers and cupboards.
A brilliant man's career. Ruined. All through.
Mice? Funny thing, how Robert won't believe that mice eat paper. Seems to make him raving mad just as tell him they do. Funny thing, just been told. Mice eat paper. Should send anyone into a temper like what it does Robert. I think he's balmy. I think the ward's balmy too. I don't think he ever did write a novel. I think he's balmy thinking he wrote a novel when he didn't. I expect that Robert's caught being balmy off him. They'll probably get all right now after a bit. Anyway, that's what I think.
I think you talk a lot of nonsense, dear. I'll go and help Robert find those papers.
Oh, crumbs.
Well, I've got to work on it jolly soon, haven't I?
Yeah, jolly sight too soon.
Why?
It's not swatting. It's a novel. I've got to take it back.
Take it back. But I've started tearing.
Oh, look, it's not too bad. You haven't torn it all. Look, we can put the bits together. If you've got a bit with gar and a bit with den, you put them together and make garn, that sort of thing. Oh, it'll be quite easy. Anyway, I've got to do it, because Robert's gone raving mad about it. He won't hear a word I say about magpies and mice and things like that. I'll go and get some sticky paper and get started.
But this isn't all.
What do you mean? This isn't all.
Well, this isn't all the paper.
Where's the rest?
Well, I'm giving it away.
Away?
Yes.
Who to?
Miss Fairman.
Who's she?
She's a new tenant in Honeysuckle Cottage.
I've never heard of her.
Well, I have, because on my way home for lunch, I met her in the lane. She said, "Hello, don't you live in that house there?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Oh, I was just coming to visit your mother." And I said, "It wasn't us who broke her flower pots." And anyway, it was a silly place to leave them.
Of course it was. You mean on that wall?
Yeah.
It was just asking to be shied at. What did she say?
She said, "Oh, I'm not interested in flower pots. I'm interested in waste paper."
Waste paper?
Why? She collects it and sells it and gives the money to a home for deaf and dumb children.
Oh, crumbs. So you said you'd help?
Of course I did. I said I'd help any children except Hubert Lane. Well, anyway, I thought there's more than enough for the paper chase, so I gave her half.
Does she know what it is?
It's just some old exam papers belonging to a friend of mine, I said. Because I'm interested in deaf and dumb children, I said.
Well, this is a nice fix you've got us into. We'll just have to have a jolly good think what to do. See, what's difficult is not letting Miss Fairman know just how valuable those papers are, and then just put them back in their place without anyone knowing anything. I know. I just have to be deaf and dumb, then she'll give me the papers.
You can't be deaf and dumb.
I don't see why I can't.
I don't see it working.
I bet it's a jolly good idea. I bet you never thought of that without me.
No, I shouldn't have had any need to without you. And anyway, don't start boasting about it till you see if it comes off all right.
Oh, come off all right. All my plans come off all right.
Oh, do they?
Are you coming to Honeysuckle Cottage or aren't you?
Dear, dear, what a commotion. What a commotion. What on earth do you want?
Sorry, but please can we come and speak to you?
Yes, come in. Now come in and sit down quietly and tell me what you've come to see me about. Wait a moment. Aren't you the little boy who so kindly contributed to my waste paper collection?
Yes.
Thank you. And now speak.
Well, you know you remember telling me about those deaf and dumb children you're interested in getting those papers for?
Certainly.
Well, he's deaf and dumb.
Dear, dear. Oh, I am sorry to hear that. Is he quite deaf?
He's deaf, but he can sort of tell what people say.
Oh, I suppose he lip reads.
Yes, that's what he does. He lip reads.
And is he completely dumb?
Oh, yeah.
That's his dumbness, you see. He can start a sentence all right, but he can never finish them.
How very odd. I expect he can talk on his fingers, can't he? I'm afraid I never learnt finger language. How oddly he does it.
Oh, no. His is the right way. It's the others that don't do it properly. He's got all special medals and certificates and things for the way he talks on his fingers.
Really? Really? I didn't know they gave medals for that.
Oh, yeah. That's his dumbness, you see. He can start a sentence, all right, but he can never finish them. He's been to all sorts of deaf and dumb doctors to try and make him finish his sentences, but none of them can.
How very strange.
Yes, that's what they all say. They all say it's very strange, just like what you do. It's a proper dumbness, all right. Lots of people have them.
Really? Is he at all wanting? Oh, you poor soul.
Well, he sometimes is, and he sometimes isn't. Sort of comes and goes quite sudden. Look, he's all right again now.
Yes. But, what exactly did you come to see me about, dear?
Well, you know you said you took that paper to help deaf and dumb boys?
Yes, dear. I sell it for them. It's a charity.
Well, he's deaf and dumb, and he'd rather have the paper than the money. You see, he thinks you'll help him, all right, because he's deaf and dumb, and you do help deaf and dumbs. Well, and he'd rather have the paper straight out without you bothering to sell it for him.
But, what does he want it for?
He makes things out of it.
What sort of things?
Oh, all sorts of things. He's very clever at making things out of paper. Typed on paper especially. If you've got any typed on paper, he'd like it.
Yes, dear boy. All the papers are in the next room. Go and take what you like for your friend. Wait one moment, though. Where does he live?
Oh, I live at the loft. That's his dumbness, you see. Sometimes he shouts out like that, but he never gets to the end of the sentence. Never since he was born.
Where does he live?
The Laurels.
The Laurels? Oh, but that's quite a big house, dear. And you see, this charity that I'm connected with is only supposed to help poor boys.
Oh, well, I mean, his mother's a charwoman there. He's a very poor boy, really.
Oh, I see. Well, go and get what papers you like from the other room, if it's really of any use to the poor child. You poor child. You poor, poor child.
There, this is the sort of paper he likes. He'll be able to make all sorts of things out of this. Thank you so much. Well, I better be getting home quickly now, because he gets very tired being deaf and dumb. Come on, William.
Oh, you jolly nearly broke my leg with all those kicks.
Well, you were such a chump. Keep on talking and talking when you're supposed to be dumb.
There's no need to break someone's leg just because they talks, is there?
Oh, come on, that's enough. Let's take him back to your house.
Oh, no, you don't. Not up my stairs, you don't. Go on, get out of it.
Miss Fairman, come in here. What's she doing? She knows we're in here. She was following us up the road.
Perhaps just to ask for waste paper. Anyway, if she says just start acting deaf and dumb.
Yeah, and you don't start acting breaking my leg, same as you did before.
Very personal, I think. I wonder if I might come in and have a word with you.
Well, I suppose so, Mum. I am rather busy, though.
Are you the charwoman here?
Well, I obliges here occasional, if that's what you mean.
Yes, yes, of course, that's what I mean.
Well?
I have come to speak to you about your little boy.
Oh, you have you? Well, you leave him alone and he'll leave you alone. See?
Oh, yes, yes, I'm sure he will. I don't mean that I've come to complain of him.
Well, it's a good thing for you haven't.
No, I have come to help and sympathise. A child like that must be a great trial and sorrow to.
Oh, what?
A trial. A sorrow. A boy like that naturally must be a trial and sorrow to his parents. But there are homes and special schools for boys like that, you know. And that's what I came to tell you about. I could get this unfortunate boy of yours into an institution.
How dare you? How dare you speak to me like I have never been spoken to before? No, not never in my whole life have I ever been spoken to like you have just spoken to me now. And what is
Mrs. Hobbin, what on earth's the matter?
What's the matter? She's the matter. Coming here insulting decent hard-working folks and trying to kidnap their children off her. She ought to be in a reformatory herself. That's what she ought to be. And I could get her in one of the things she's been saying. Libelous, that's what they was. Trial and sorrow indeed. Trial and sorrow herself, that's what she is. Do you know, she told me to my face that my boy ought to be in a reformatory, and I will have the law on her for it.
I never said such a thing.
Oh, didn't you? Didn't you? Well, have I got ears or haven't I? You answer me that first.
Mrs. Hobbin, you come into the kitchen and I'll talk to this lady.
Yes, and if I go into the kitchen, she'll talk to you then, won't she? And what's she going to say then behind me back? Well, I would rather she said it straight out while I am here to listen.
Mrs. Hobbin, I'm sure if you'll just allow me to speak to her.
Allow? I do no allowing of anyone where my boy's concerned. He's a good boy, he is.
He is, Mrs.
He's
Hobbin.
a boy his father would have been proud
Yes, I
of.
know that.
God rest his soul. And I won't have the likes of her, whoever she is, coming in here, trialing and sorrowing.
I'm sure that I didn't mean to upset anyone. I have come to help and sympathise as I...
And sympathise? Trial and sorrow? Who gave you the right to
Mrs.
come in
Hobbin,
here
that
and...
is enough!
Oh, it is it? Yes. Yes, I thought it would be sooner or later.
Well,
I have been obliging you too long,
No,
haven't
you
I?
haven't. No,
That's
not
the
at
trouble. I'm took for granted, that
no,
is what.
Mrs. Hobbin.
Well, if it's enough for you, it's enough for me, I can tell you.
Mrs. Hobbin, I'm sure if you just come back here and we can talk quite calmly.
I'm so sorry. I seem somehow to have upset her.
Would you like to come into the drawing?
Oh, thank you.
Now, Miss,
Fairman.
Fairman. Yes. Excuse me. William, what are you creaking about like that for?
Is William your little boy?
Yes. Come here, William.
Forgive me. I'm afraid I've made a mistake. I didn't realise that you were the charwoman. Well, I suppose that really lady help is more what you are. You know how crudely boys always put things. I have come to see you about your son.
Which son?
Your poor little deaf and dumb child.
Deaf and dumb? I'm afraid I don't
It's
understand.
such a terrible affliction, and the poor little chap looks so cheerful in spite of it.
No, I'm really afraid I don't quite...
I say, Mother, it's all right. Oh, I'm frightfully sorry. I've had a very worrying day, and now at last I've got some jolly good news. Do you mind if I tell my mother? Ward's just rung me to say it's all right about his novel. He finds he did take it home after all. What she'd left was the rough copy he was going to throw away anyhow.
And here's the poor little deaf and dumb child himself. Such a cheery little soul in spite of his affliction.
Deaf and dumb? William?
Good Lord.
William, have you been telling this lady that you were deaf and dumb?
Well, no, not exactly. In a sort of way. Well, where's Ginger?
He's gone, and I can't say I blame him.
My waste paper.
Ward's rough copy.
Dear, it's William again.